The first footage we see in Rockstar's most infamous game is a cam recording of a journalist who is about to expose a huge conspiracy happening in Carcer City. This so-called conspiracy involves a man named Starkweather, along with some higher-ups. The only problem is that she lacks one piece of evidence to back up her claim. Now here comes our protagonist, James Earl Cash, an inmate sentenced to death. He has been on death row for 3 years and was executed recently by lethal injection. However, on the next cut we can see that he's alive. A strange man called the Director lays down the rules for him. Cash is obviously dead for the public, and the only way for him to make it out alive is playing along with this Director dude. He will communicate to Cash through an earpiece and gives him instructions every now and then about, well, to put it nicely, butchering the shit out of everyone. This includes paramilitary forces, corrupt police officers, gang members, Nazi skinheads, psycho murderers, and Captain Macmillan. These groups are supposed to be hunters, but most of the time they are the hunted. The first third of the game is just going around murdering these assholes, while the Director watches and records our executions on CCTV, because he needs some solid footage for a snuff film, hence the name, Director.
Oh man, he's toast.
At the end of each scene, a special unit called the Cerberus shows up, puts Cash in a van and throws him out for the next scene around the city. Sometimes we are also shown a pig-like creature, with no context whatsoever. So one of the groups, called War Dogs, the one with full of paramilitary wannabes, kidnapped Cash's family, and they are holding them hostage, but it was obviously the Director's order. Cash saves all of them without hesitating.
Run, you idiot!
Now I can see why he wasn't close to them. They don't get too far, because the Director doesn't let them going anywhere, and orders their execution. Cash, feeling betrayed, finds himself in a prison complex, where he needs to follow a white rabbit, just like Alice in Wonderland. It would be a nice metaphor, but Cash was already deep in the rabbit's hole in the very first minute. Anyway, the rabbit leads us into a trap, because the Director wants us dead at the end of his film. Unfortunately for him, we kill everyone he throws at us. We get the keys and try to leave this place, but the War Dogs are waiting for us. And instead of killing Cash, they let him run away, because they want to hunt him down. Yeah, they really have a death wish, don't they? We kill them all one by one, and on our way out, the reporter from earlier shows up and helps to escape. She tells us that she has been following Starkweather's operation for months, and she is ready to bring him down. Yes, the Director dude's real name is Starkweather. Now we know that the final evidence she needed to expose Starkweather was finding Cash alive. So we head to her apartment to collect the material, but Starkweather already called Gary Schaefer, a highly corrupted police chief, to capture our heroes. At this point, Manhunt turns from a stealth game into a shooter. We need to eliminate a bunch of officers, and as we get in the apartment, the journalist collects her stuff and leaves the city. Cash stays because he wants to take revenge on Starkweather, so he runs through the city into a metro station, finishes a bunch of policemen, but gets captured at the train station by the Cerberus. This time they bring us next to Starkweather's mansion, where the pig-like creature called Pigsy escapes and starts murdering Starkweather's men. I have no clue whose idea it was to keep a serial killer like Pigsy in a mansion, but whatever. Since the Cerberus is bad at multitasking, we can escape from this garage easily. Now we only have to kill the remaining 200 soldiers Starkweather has. We finally make our way to his mansion, but Starkweather retreated to the top. We find the key to the elevator and go up for him, but the elevator gets stopped by Pigsy, so we have to take him out first. This final boss fight is cool, but a bit underwhelming. Fuck, he's fast. After we stab him in the back 3 times, Pigsy doesn't want to play with us anymore, and he goes back to meditate in his room, but eventually the trapdoor collapses under him, which lets Cash chainsaw Pigsy's hands off, and he falls to his death. As we try to get into Starkweather's room, he sends the last 5 of his men to eliminate Cash. While we are hunting them down with the chainsaw, we can hear Pigsy's theme in the background. Finally we can confront Starkweather, giving him a spontaneous head surgery. Last we see a TV broadcast with the journalist reporting on the events. Cash's vendetta brought light to an entire snuff film ring, linking to the police chief as well, who intends to plead not guilty. And Cash was nowhere to be found.